Hello, this is Jim for the Monopoly Project, and it's September 2021. We're here to do some floating book reviews. We're on Val Vista Lakes. It's early September. It's still hot, over 100 degrees, but we're on the here on the Monopoly Project yacht. Every successful real estate investor has a yacht, and unfortunately it's a Bikini Girls Day off, so you just have me, and I'm going right into the sunset. That's why I'm doing a little squinting and such. It's still very bright, still hot. Today we're here to do 3 book reviews. So we're reviewing a book on Roman history called Empire, and then 2 books on assisted living. So the next 2 books, I don't have the book because one of the books was a PDF, and the other book was actually a paperback. But I lent it to my friend and erstwhile business partner, John, because we were looking at buying assisted living facilities, and you can see I made a copy of it, of the 2 books. You can see right here the 2 books. The first one is Investing in Senior Housing. It's 119 pages, paperback, written in 2018 by Gene Guarino and his brother Jim. And the other's a paperback book, Blueprint, How to Start a Residential Assisted Living Business. It's 116 pages, PDF, written in 2020. They pretty much cover the same material. Not pretty much. They cover the same material. Obviously, the authors are the same person. And to be honest, they're basically infomercial. Gene runs a residential assisted living academy. You can see the link in the on the blog post. It gives you advice on how to buy residential listed facilities and such, and it's all really good information. So I don't, like I said, if this book was really a bad infomercial, I wouldn't give it a bad review. I just wouldn't even mention that I'd read it. It's not worth wasting your time on. But the reason why I like these 2 books is one, Gene especially tells a lot of personal stories about how he got into it and what happened, and I find the personal stories interesting. That's one of the reasons why I still subscribe to Forbes magazine, because it's a business magazine, but it's mostly about the personalities in it. And so and the second thing is, it does have some basic information which is valuable, and given our recent history of interacting with assisted living facilities because of my mother-in-law, we find the numbers to be true. And so do I recommend the books? If you're interested in buying assisted living facilities, I would definitely recommend both books. The PDF is free. All you got to do is give Gene your email, and then he sends you a bunch of solicitation emails, but you can always unsubscribe. The other book was like $8 on Amazon. It's a short paperback. $8 is not a lot of money, even especially if you're interested in it. It's worth the entertainment value. So do I recommend you do it? Or you can look up on Gene's Residential Assisted Living Academy website. Obviously, it's an even bigger solicitation for all his courses, and his 3-day course I think is $5,000. But it has a lot of information. He writes a lot of useful articles that are basically subsets of the book and such. And so, but like I said, if you're interested, it's worth the $8 or the free PDF version. And in some ways, the PDF version is a little better because the PDF version was written in 2020, and it obviously has been updated. The book was written in 2018, so it doesn't have anything about COVID, which of course has wreaked havoc among many businesses. So it's a little more. He doesn't go a lot into COVID, but obviously COVID is going to disrupt the operations of any business, especially a business like assisted living where there's so much personal contact. So I did mention John. I'd given my book to John, and now we have our guard dog over here again. I don't know if you can see him, but he's over there guarding the house, doing his job. So that's a good dog. That's a good dog. So we did look at an assisted living facility for sale in Gilbert. It's listed at $1.2 million, of which the real estate, it's a 5-bedroom house in Gilbert, is valued at $800,000, and the business itself is valued at $400,000 according to the broker. We were very, very close to getting involved, to actually going ahead and making an offer and hopefully buying the place, but we ran into the complication that none of the four of us who are involved are willing to commit the time necessary to actually manage the facility. You know, it could be anywhere from a half-time to a full-time job. And if you look at the numbers, the compensation after expenses is $10,000 a month, so that's actually a pretty good job when you're getting $10,000 a month, and it's not W-2 income, so you know you don't have to pay taxes on it. But on the other hand, and you might even be able to increase that number. They're not operating at capacity and some other things, although they are running the business very well. So we finally informed them that while we really would like to, we just can't make the commitment. And so maybe in a year, John will have more flexibility in making commitment for his time, because quite frankly, he's the young guy in the partnership, and Michelle and I are on the other end, and we're not really looking for a full-time job after a lifetime of full-time work. So, but in any case, like I said, if you're interested in residential assisted living, Gene and his residential assisted living academy are in a very niche part of it. They're not, you know, in the 100, 200, 400 bed facilities. They're not in the lower end. They're in the, not luxury end, but you know, $4,000 or $5,000 a month private residences. And so there's not a lot of people who can pay that kind of money. So it is a niche part, but I think it's going to keep growing as the population ages, and especially in relatively affluent places like Gilbert, or you know, Los Angeles, San Francisco, you know, any of the big cities. I think there'll be a lot of call for that, and it's mainly a question of how well can you manage it. So in any case, that's Jim again for the Monopoly Project. That's one of our floating book reviews. We will be back next month with hopefully a few more books finished. We got distracted by a number of personal and business items in August, but next month we'll have hopefully finish a whole lot more books. And this is Jim signing off. Thank you.